Hello, everyone. Welcome to Metaphysical Mama. I am Courtney, and today I want to talk about what QHHT is and some common themes that have been coming up in my sessions recently. So, um, you know, I'm sure a lot of you are feeling just the heightened energies. The past couple of years, there was really a whole, on a metaphysical perspective, like a whole reset, really kind of going back to our home bases and our communities and really just painting a picture of what is important in our lives right now. So, with all of that being said, now is the time to step into your power. So 2022 is all about stepping into your power. You've had the 2 years to shift and align and figure it all out as far as, where you want to go, what your nudges have been trying to get you to do. Here I am, which I had a lot of fears come up around putting myself out there through this avenue, but it feels good that I'm on the other side of it and I'm putting myself out there. So anyway, if you have felt the nudge in your heart, in your body, in your soul, just do it. Do it. Now is the time. So QHHT is quantum healing hypnosis technique. And it is by the late and great Dolores Cannon. And it is a modality to really get in touch with your all-knowing self. Seriously, it's a way to just reconnect your mind, your body, and your spirit to your soul essence. And it's to help you remember. There is a field of knowledge that you are able to tap into and to trust the information that comes forward. I do guide you through a relaxed state of being, through like a guided meditation. And then I ask you to see your beautiful place. And, it's just a process of putting that monkey mind to rest and just going into what it is that you may visually see, what you may hear, what you may just get a sense of a feeling just running through your body of information, of just a knowing. And so you just follow that and go with that. And, there is no right or wrong way as far as how you receive information. So don't put yourself in any kind of box or, make yourself feel bad or shameful or guilty or whatever, because so many people will be like, well, I can't see anything. And they just get so, down on themselves. I'm like, you don't have to. That might not be the way that you receive your information. So really it's just, it's getting into that relaxed state and going through, traveling through wherever you may need to go to another time and place where there is information to help with the present lifetime that you are currently living now. Because now is the focus. Now is the most important time for why you're here and what your purpose is, what your lessons are. But it's it's time. We want to learn the lesson. We don't want to stay on the karmic wheel. We want to break through those thoughts, patterns, and beliefs, and break through those karmic limitations. There's so many different words and labels for it, but just getting to the root of an issue is so helpful and so freeing, and you're just really able to let go on a physical, emotional, mental, spiritual level of existence. And so then going through that, then I call on Dolores labeled it like the subconscious, the SC. But after getting more in depth into her work, it's not the the psychological term for the subconscious. It's more of the superconscious or the oversoul or the higher self that you can really tap into to access and harness the information that you need to hear, feel, see, or know on some level of existence so that you can incorporate it and, assimilate it into your being. So it's really, really powerful. I enjoy doing Akashic Record readings as well, but had I not ever gone through, the quantum healing hypnosis technique and gotten into that place to get in touch with my higher self that brought forth the information, then I may not have known that I could have ever, accessed that or done that. So it's really just getting in touch with your all-knowing higher self. And I tell people to bring 10 questions to the session, and I just ask the questions. I'm just holding space and guiding, you through it. You're the one that is doing it. And so, with that being said as well, I do tell people, I'm like, nobody can force you to do this type of work. It's not something that should be pushed upon, because there has to be almost like an agreement on a soul level that comes through, that like you're ready. Like there's a part of you that is ready. And so in that comes the alignment of, okay, surrendering, and now I'm ready, but being forced to do it it's not going to be as smooth. It's not going to, for some reason, just the person isn't ready. So, nothing wrong with that. Everybody is different. Everybody's in their own place and time with their own journey. But I do tell people, I'm like, this has to come from you. If you're ready, then absolutely, let's go on the journey, because it's a beautiful, beautiful process. And so I have to say that recently, and specifically yesterday, it got me thinking, because I had a beautiful session with a woman who she lives here in Florida now, but she's from Egypt, and she grew up in Saudi Arabia. Lots and lots of trauma in her upbringing. And her mother passed 12 years ago. And, but in this session, it was so beautiful. Her mother came through. She was holding her hands out, and she could feel her mother holding her hands, and like her mother was telling her that she was ready to step into her power. And her mother, she didn't know this then, and she didn't even remember her higher self coming through and what it had to say. We talked about it after the session. So I know she had a lot to integrate after the session. So her mother came through as a goddess, and her whole life, she knew she was going to die at a young age, and she died in her early 50s, and it was almost like she manifested her death. The mother made sure before she died that her 2 daughters were married off. They had arranged marriages, and once they were married, it was like she was done, and she passed in her living room. But anyway, so her mother came through and was like, now is the time. Now is the time, my dear goddess, like it's time for you to step into your power. So we also know from several sessions that we are in the divine feminine age of Aquarius, where lots of information from the past that maybe was suppressed then, or that there were unfinished business, unfinished contracts, are now coming full circle. And like now is the time to finish out those contracts, to finish out unfinished business, and to really step into your power. And it's a beautiful thing. And I have to say too, there's a male that I had a session with recently, and he he's actually in the film industry, and even a lifetime that he had where he had to suppress his the things that he knew about on the bigger scale. He had to suppress that knowledge, and it was like so against his soul being, but like he was super talented in that life, and his work was well known and was requested, and so he did it, but it was like it was against him on a soul level as far as like why he was doing it and who he was doing it for. So now, fast forward thousands of years later, and here he is behind the scenes, but he's making making, like he says, fake people. And so it's like against in the form of like body doubles, and making people mask, and making people also prosthetic type stuff. And there's a whole other dark agenda, as we know that there are those that are out there in different industries. But especially what can be, and I dare I say, what can be put out in Hollywood. So he's ready, he's ready to live his truth and like step into his power. And he's written a movie, and he's trying to like subtly get turn the tides and get this the good information out there, and flip the script, if you will. And so we've also been told in different channeling sessions and other people's sessions that that there are these double agents. There are these good light force beings, or there's a guy, Brad Johnson, New Earth Teachings. He's on YouTube, and he talks about the white hats, and he talks about how that there's the good that are kind of working as double agents behind the scenes to flip the script and to bring the truth to light and bring it all out there. So anyway, with all that, it's not just women that are stepping into their power, but it's like the balance of the masculine and the feminine, and it's men that are stepping into their power and their divinity and their honor and truth on a soul level as well. So, yeah, it's time. And what more of a better day, or whatever, the energies of 2022, and you yourself in your everyday life and routines may be feeling these heightened energies coming up and coming through as well. We are also being told it's coming up in a lot of sessions, whether through the Akashic record readings or QHHT sessions, about water and the importance of water. And so there's shifts that are always kind of taking place through Mother Nature on our earth, which is a living, breathing being. And so we're getting a new influx of water, and there is information in water. So stored information that that has been there just somewhat in a trapped sense, that is being released, and water flows and circulates, and at some point, either we submerge ourselves in water or we are drinking the water. There's new information coming in from the waters. So drink your waters, drink your water, drink your water. And while we're on this with the water, senses are shifting. I've had 2 people reach out to me yesterday about senses, and one being smell and one being taste. But all of our senses are shifting. And so things that you may have liked before, you may feel like you have an aversion to now. I know me personally, I like to, drink wine on occasion. And the 2 times that I drank in January, it literally made me sick. And just the thought of, and I like to enjoy red wine. when I drink wine. And like after, like the thought of drinking red wine is like repulsing to me now. So not saying that I'll never drink red wine again, but just listen to your body, and listen to just the cues, everything is information. Whatever you are feeling and sensing in your body is information. So trust it and empower yourself and step into your power. And I love you all. Thank you for tuning in, and God bless.